Welcome to the episode of Ground Floor where we can agree to disagree and still be family. That's a theme song. What up, though, for my second album, Joe Lee World. On the music and copyrights. Don't be on Facebook. I'm your host, all the titles, Joe Lee. Guest co-host Jerome from Shield Ministry on YouTube, since he been studious with the glasses, aka Brother Rome.
Hey, what's up, good people? My brother here, he's not used to this because I didn't have to wear glasses in high school, nor college, nor nada, as they say in Espanol. But guess what? Today is a new day when you hit that 4.6 in the year of 2024. And guess what? I went and did an eye exam and didn't pass. So guess what happened? I had to get some glasses, and I said, if I'm wearing some glasses, I got to look like my man did on The Wire, my man Idris Elba character. So guess what? That's what I was going for. When he took that class, remember he took that economics class and he had them glasses?
Yeah, I read.
Yeah, hey, that's what I was going for. I told old girl, said, what kind of glasses you want? I said, hey, these the ones I want.
You said The Wire.
The Wire. Hey, shout out to the folks of The Wire, man. That was a good show.
Yeah, it was. I don't even laugh with my tooth.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I forgot. My brother's out of commission here. He should be laughing like this. While he laughing, I want to give a shout out to the Tigers for getting us back to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They made it to the second round. They took it to game 5. I know it didn't end in victory, but hey, we got there. We just got to expound on what we're trying to build. And that brings us to the great topic that my brother talk about when we talk about building. Let's go, bro.
All right. Came to this topic. Host have a guest panelist. See if she still show up. Is it hard to build with someone at 24? And a few people I spoke with earlier, I guess it sparked something because they was wanting to know what type of approach we was going to tackle. I figured keep it broad because there's so many different layers to it, what you can't talk about. So I guess for me, it'll be, if you're trying to build with someone for the rest of 24, because I know we are in the holiday months and people want to be booed up with somebody because that auntie or big mama might say, you 30 or whatever, don't nobody want you. And they don't want to hear that bull, so they go find somebody to be around for the holiday. But when you really sit back and want to build with someone, in my opinion, men and women need to look for what traits are the qualifiers for that person you want around. I think we got away from the basics. You know, it look good, it make money. Do they got a big thing, or does she got the breasts and butt and all that? All that sound good, but do they believe in the Lord? Where's their moral compass? No, do they believe in right and wrong? Do they look out for family and friends? I mean, I think those are building blocks to the person's character. Because people, in my opinion, when you do go through the whole dating process, get to marriage, ain't no one listen when that person say sickness and health, rich and poor, death do us part. They ain't listen to none of that shit. There's too many people, oh, you get on my nerve, I'm out. But the vows already said you're going to have some good and bad times while you leaving. Now they're trying to beat you, rape you, kill you, get the hell out of there. But if y'all ain't got them problems, they already told you it's going to be some adversity moments in time. You thought they were joking? Thought they were playing? Then Max would say, no, it's real. Go ask your big moms. They'll tell you, man, oh boy, we ain't talked for like 3 months. I want to hit her with a skillet. I want to throw a rock at her. And that'll sound like, oh my God, clutch my pearls. Big mama. But it's real life. You had those seasons. So in the beginning of the building, what do you value so you can weed out all the fluff and start attracting those people with those core values to start building a friendship? That's the first. You need to become friends before you start screwing and all this other stuff. If you ain't friends, when stuff happen, you're going to say, man, F it, I'm out. But if you friends first, you're going to have that empathy if they dealing with something because you don't know what traumas they've been through. And when you start dating someone and people not married, when you get married, you find out who you're really dealing with. But their parents show them all of it. Because they're going to be comfortable at some point to truly be all facets of them. And that's a lot to take in. Pastor Muhammad Ron.
Hey, that was good, Jeff. Let me start out with this. So, for those that don't know, I'm in the building industry, construction world, and both residential and commercial. So I get to see the home start from start to finish, from when they break ground, the commercial sites. So let's just use, for instance, Jeff and I went to middle school and high school together. So we're going to use Cooley High, for instance. Say I was doing a renovation to Cooley High today. We're basically going to keep what's been already there, and then we're going to add an additional part to the Cooley premises off of Finkel and Hubble there. The higher, the taller we're going with the building, the deeper the foundation has to be. And so because of that, I want to use that as an analogy to relationships today. If you really trying to be that power couple, get you wait on your Boaz as the woman, the man looking for his roof, the Proverbs 31 woman, you want to have that deep foundation. You want to get those who are believers, you want to have the Lord as your anchor before you even kick this thing off. Because anybody will tell you that's been married and are married, whether they've been married 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, or 5, marriage is work. You got to work to be happy. I think a lot of people get caught up in the glitz and the glams of a wedding day. Yes, she may look like a princess to the young ladies that's 8, 9, 10 and younger. She may look like an actual Tiana type princess type of thing, but the reality of it is, no matter how much money you spent on your wedding day, the work is in the marriage. So if your dream goal is if you guys sat down and said, hey, we're going to be a power couple, we want to go to the next level, and that next level being marriage, I personally highly recommend premarital counseling, because it's something you never done before. If I had to put it in sports terminology for those that like sports, we'll just use Serena Williams. She didn't get to be Serena Williams overnight. Their dad was working diligently when they were younger in the competitions and the events that they were in for them to become the Venus and Serena that we're seeing today. What I'm saying to you is, if you want to be that power couple, you got to put in the work early on. And early on is that premarital counseling. Now, you may say, hey, I don't believe in marriage. I don't believe in any of that. So, okay, let's go a different route. Let's just say you believe in a life partner. That's fine. You still got to build this thing on something. And if you love that other person, you're going to build it on love. So I got some attributes that you got to have here when you're trying to build a great relationship. And I wanted to read them off to you. It says that to build a healthy relationship as a couple, you want to be able to communicate effectively. You want to be respectful. You want to be flexible. And flexible basically means being understanding in the situation. Like people got to work different schedules, and so one of the two might already had a previous child or previous children. You can't go in being selfish. It says be dependable. You got to understand that you got to rely on one another. And I would call it, it's one of those things where if you're the better person managing the monies, you say you're going to pay the light bill, make sure the light bill is paid by the due date. Don't have me up here, working at home for the day because, like a Jeff situation, he went to the dentist and my lights go out while I'm on a computer. I can't even work from home now. I'm screwed. Don't put me in that type of situation. It says when you have disagreements, make sure you're fighting fair. Don't bring up something from when he first started dating you and all of those things. You guys are married now, or you're trying to do that life partnership. Fight fair. Don't bring up old things and try to tear the man down or tear the woman down. It says make time for each other. I always tell men what you did in the beginning to get her, be sure you do those things to keep her. Because if I met you and I was taking you to PF Chang's, I was taking you to Roof Chris, I was taking you to Capers, I was taking you to the casino, basically continue to court each other. Do whatever is within your budget. If you only can go out twice a month, just go out twice a month. If you can afford more than, twice a month, add that to the list, but continue to court your lady and continue to be receptive, young ladies. Men, you know what I'm saying? It says make time for each other. Be affectionate. Have a sense of humor. Women love to laugh. And so if you're a man that really don't have good jokes and like that, watch some comedies together. Go to a comedy show together. Don't they have the comedy club open now? Mike Epps, One Mic up there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, One Mic. Go support my man. Go see that, and you'll see all kind of comedians. I got 3 more, folks. It says set and respect boundaries. So, I'll give you guys an example. So Jeff and I, we used to always play a lot of video games, and people we would date sometime would not believe guys is playing video games on a Friday, night till 2, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. Like, no, that can't be true. Y'all don't do no stuff like that. Like, hey, that's what we doing. So you got to have that me time, that you time. If you and your girls meet up, every other Friday, and y'all go to a happy hour or whatever it may be, go to lunch together. Continue to do those things. Y'all got to have those set boundaries, and you just let your husband or your spouse, your life partner, know where your whereabouts are. If things change, hey, I was over Jeff's. Now I'm about to go over to my boy Kurt's house, things like that. You want to explain where your whereabouts, because things happen today. Last 2, address mental health concerns. And a lot of people don't look at this as a mental health, but I'm here to tell you it is. Depression. If you know you're a person that's been through some serious depression, just be honest with the young lady. You've been through some serious trauma in your life, PTSD. Be serious with the young man. Don't hide things to try to sugarcoat it and to become an angel in the situation, because these things can come about again. They can come about in 5 years, 10 years, 2 months, 3 months. Don't nobody like those type of surprises. Last but not least, it says seek help when needed. What that means is if one of us need to get a therapist, we should be able to recommend that to our loved one and say, hey, I know you've been going through a lot. You lost your job. It seems like all you do is lay in the bed. You don't want to go out. Let's go get you a therapist. Let's go and see what the doctor is telling you needs to be done. The psychiatrist, things of that nature. It can even be most of the guys I know, they really don't like the doctor. Let's just be real. But I always tell people, let's take care of ourselves and go do the physical annually, 1 time a year, opposed to having to be forced to be in the emergency room, and now you're in the hospital for 3 weeks for something that you could have prevented. So basically, seek help when needed. That's just what it boils down to. And the young folks now, they call it standing on business. As men, we got to stand on business when we out here dating. We got to live without excuses when it comes to doing certain things, because we're the ones that's ordained by the Lord to lead our household. we get that responsibility. We don't have the responsibility to run. And that's even if your significant other makes more than you, whether she's the wife, the fiance, the life partner, you still lead that household. That means that you two sit down, discuss whatever it is, and you go from there. Whether it's a new car you're working on, a new house you're working on, the kids, private school, the clothing, you guys got to sit down and talk about things instead of sometimes just sporadically doing it, because you want to make sure that you have the financial means and that everything is going as planned. So just effective communication. That's my take to kick it off. I'm going to kick it back to my brother, and then we can have some fun with this.
Yeah, definitely. You both need to be able to put everything on the table, good, bad, and different, and talk about it, because it's going to show itself. And if y'all really rock with each other, you should be able to put everything. Molested as a kid. Oh, I was touched too, or I was abused, whatever it is. Y'all should be able to talk about all that. And that's going to make y'all become more of a team. So they're going to feel honored that you shared that knowledge with them. So they're going to, I never knew that about you. Mm-hmm. So they're going to want to protect that about you to make sure if that person never been charged and y'all go around them, they're going to definitely have some smoke for that person a little bit. Now, don't be shocked, because you let them know the truth. And if you're a protector, you want to lay hands, not holding hands, but don't do it. I wouldn't advise you doing that. Now, you can give them a holy hug when you damn squeeze life out of them. You probably tell them the ear. You know, I know what it is. If you ever think twice, I know. Mm-hmm. You can go from there. What it's going to be, and let that situation fall back. But a lot of stuff can be simple if you really communicate.
Yeah.
A lot of people are having conversations,
communication, hanging out, everything. It really is. I think that if more people really, like, that's why I like what that article said about effective communication, because I think more people need to ask those questions when they're dating about your mental health. Have you ever dealt with depression? Have you ever dealt with any of the PTSD trauma situations? Did you lose a loved one early on in your childhood? And if so, who was it? How did that affect you? How did that affect your family? You got to dive deep. It may not be a first date. Let's just be real. Your first date is supposed to be fun. You got some little surface questions that you throw out there. But if the first date goes well, you're communicating a little more throughout the week anyway, before that second date. So you just start digging a little bit deeper as each week and date goes on. So I feel like if you're trying to build that power couple and you want to take it to the next level, like I said, whether you believe in marriage or you believe in life partnership, whatever it is you want, whatever end of the spectrum, I feel like you need to know if that person wants to have kids, like they want to have a family, extended family. And if there's already previous children, will you be able to accept those children and love them as your own in a blended family situation as the woman or as the man? Because that's a package deal. You can't have her without the children. You can't have him without the children. And so you want to communicate to where you know everything you need to know. What is the relationship like with the mother? What is the relationship like with the dad? Because sometimes you can get caught up in a dramatic situation and you're not a person that handles drama well. So you want to make sure you're not going into a toxic situation there Another thing I think people need to cover is finances. You got to talk finances because sometimes you will realize that, one, if not both, is much stronger than the other. One person may have a lot of debt, whether it's student loans or credit card, and the other person could be debt free and has been for several years. So you have to know those things, especially if you decide to say I do. Excuse me. If you say I do, because her debt becomes yours, your debt becomes hers once you become one. And that's a real thing. So you have to talk about the finances on another level before jumping the broom, as we do in our culture. I would say also, we covered the kids. The thing about the kids, if neither one of you had kids, you want to have kids, you have to take the test to make sure that she can have kids and you can have kids. You don't want to be hit with any surprises today. That's why they got all of these different things out here that you can do, medical procedures, but please know those things aren't cheap. They're not cheap at all. And if you got to go that route where you got to get enhanced and you got to go to do these things, freezing her eggs, and they got to do certain things, just know there's a price to pay. So you want to know about that as well. So we're covering the financial area. We're covering all of those, accolades there. And then I think probably the last thing you really want to focus on is just knowing what your future goals are. If you guys get married at, let's say, 25 and he may be 28, is she still in school? Is she on scholarship, or is she paying this out of pocket? Is he in school paying this out of pocket and things like? How would that affect you all when you say I do? How much debt will you be going into that house? Are you going to live in? You got to discuss. Do we already have a home? Are we going to buy a new home? Are we going to live in an apartment? You got to look at all of those different facets of the game. Even your vehicles. How much is your car notes? These different things. So I think finances is a really big thing. The last one I'll say before I pass to my brother, I really feel like when you get married, you want to know the family dynamics. You want to know his family background, history, and then you want to know her family background, history. And what I mean by that is what type of medical health issues run in the family. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. You want to know all of these different things so that way you could try to eat right and exercise right so that doesn't affect you directly. Is it breast cancer for the women? Is it prostate cancer for the men? You want to know all of these different ailments so things don't affect you. And let's be real, it could even be mental illness. And everything. So you got to look at that. Got to look at that as well. So I'll just say that's my take. I give it to Jeff. Let him give you his piece when it comes to that. But I think that those are some things to really talk about too that wasn't on my list.
Yeah, the money is huge because people don't talk about that. Spending habits, saving habits. What's your purpose? Because you can have one plan. Well, I just want to get another job, make some money. We take trips. She might want to build a company, for example. So y'all need to really discuss those things because if y'all don't, you're going to keep growing every year. Hopefully y'all growing together. But if y'all not having those conversations, y'all going to grow apart to a degree. You can always come back. If God made it, he wax on, wax off. But you're going to notice those differences and keep people out your business. Some big Kurt taught me years back. It's different if you got someone that you go vent to, they just sit and listen. And then they say, well, the worst, so you need to go back and go work this issue out and have a finality to it. And then you start breaking down like, well, what you mean? Like, well, right now, you came over here the last 2 weeks and you put 10 issues on the table. And each time you come back, I don't hear y'all had a resolution for the issue. So both of y'all talking to someone, venting, but y'all not coming back to, well, with that issue, we came to this compromise and that one's off the board. Because all those small issues just keep piling up to where one day you flip out like the Hulk. And whichever one of y'all flip out, though, I'm like, man, where the hell that come from? We ain't had no real blow up, but every issue y'all have, y'all go discuss it and come up with a resolution with your family or friend, whoever, compared to come back after y'all cooled off and come to a resolution. So that one can be filed away as issue solved. And that's a real thing. Might even people doing it right now might not even think that they're doing it, but if you go talk to so and so, like, well, I guess I could do this, you need to go back to each other and say that, well, I think we should do this. I think this. Well, the compromise will be this. And that issue is dead. Yeah, I found the solution. Because if y'all keep having them conversations with eventual work husband, work wives, or family and friends, y'all are never connecting on that deep level like y'all should, because y'all talk with other people about what the issue is. Y'all have it out and go out and deal with it. Y'all never come back to the table. Well, what's the solution? And if that become a new normal, now y'all kind of living single in the same house, because when y'all have an issue, well, I'm going to talk to my sister. I'm going to talk to my homeboy. Hopefully they're telling you, no, go back home and get a resolution to the issue. Because it's still going to be there. I mean, y'all left that residue in the house of a problem. The Bible say y'all shouldn't go to bed with wrath. But them situations are going to morph into its own person. And that spirit get up in the crib, now the devil cause a little havoc. Like, oh, I got a form now. I could touch stuff. Oh, they had another argument. Cool. She gone her home, girl. He gone over here. Let me mess with the babies. And now the devil up in your house, he gonna tear everything up if he can. But if y'all working together and coming back home, well, the last few issues, we didn't resolve them. And that air gonna be gone from the home. And words do matter. I did a educational series that I put into a book. The words can break the cycle. Because what you say, you can't take back. And if you're saying it when you pissed, that is the truth. I mean, drinking and anger is truth serum. I don't care what people say, blame alcohol, all this bull jive. When you upset, you said exactly how you feel it, unfiltered. And the goal should be not to hurt each other. But stuff happens. We're human. We're not perfect. But you should keep in mind, if you said some hurtful stuff, you need to come back and y'all can fix that. Because they're going to keep that in the chamber like, oh, that's how you really feel. Okay. I'm going to keep that bullet and put it in my gun, and I'm waiting for the right time to hit you right between the head. Now, if they got to hit you with your mom or whoever, they're going to wait till everybody around for that audience. Die. Like, oh, they said what? Everybody clutching their pearls like, dog. You hear she say that in front of the family at Thanksgiving? Because they've been holding that one that you threw to them like, oh, all right. Oh, you ain't apologize either? Okay. No, we fine. They're not fine. Apologize and mean it.
What you just said is good, because I've personally seen situations where one person messes up, male or female, and the accountability is not there. So instead of apologizing, instead of owning up to it, there's consecutive days of silence on both parties. And excuse me, I always tell everybody, if you're trying to do it the right way based off the Bible, there's a scripture in there that says that you're not supposed to go to bed with basically when the sun goes down, angry at one another. And so with that being said, you got to find some type of way to come to a resolve before the end of the night. None of that sleeping on the couch, you in the bed type of deal, or sleeping in the hotel or the friends, and then that person's at home by themselves. You going consecutive days without talking, because all that's really showing is pride or ego. Got to let go. It's also showing the immaturity that you have in this thing, because again, we're talking marriage, we're talking life partnership. Remember, we just said we wanted to build a power couple. And so earlier I said, the taller the building, if we go downtown right now and you look at the Renaissance Center, we'll just use that instead of any of the new buildings. As tall as those towers are, the foundations for those towers had to be deep to withhold the winds, the conditions that that building will withstand. What we're trying to tell you right now is that if you're going to do this the biblical way, the foundation is the Lord himself. You got to build upon what he's telling you to do in that situation, and move accordingly, as a team. So men and women, even if you grew up to be independent, what they saying now is you want to raise your daughters to be interdependent. That dude said it's so convenient. Hey, Doug, you're a fool, boy. Hey, but the thing is, you want to be interdependent because you want somebody that's going to work with you when you say I do, not against you. You're not married. You're not men, ladies, men don't marry to get an opponent. We marry to get a teammate so that we can move in the same direction. If we wanted an opponent, we could do some other things. We would have never said I do to the opponent. The young folks call it the ops. What op, if you an op, you're not teaming up with your op. They at odds for a reason. So why would I want to get married to somebody so that I can be at odds with them night in and night out? That's not what this thing is about.
And I was that person before. Like I said, couch be your best friend. I don't have middle ground. That's why I named my brand that. So when I had no moments where I ain't had nothing good to say, I ain't saying nothing for 2 days. Like, I'm still pissed. They think I'm torturing them. Like, no. You probably leave today, because if I speak, I ain't got nothing good to say about you right now. Like, you still there? Yeah, I know me. So I wasn't trying to be a torturer, not speaking for 2 days. I was still that pissed off. Because that voice in my head like, dog, we ain't never put up this bullshit with females. You cussed their ass out the moment they got out of line with you. What's all this Jesus talk? You trying to be all soft and cuddly. Nah, because I ain't trying to talk to my wife like that, or other people trying to change. Like, man, that's sucker stuff. We let them know what it is. And when you upset, like, when I did act like that, I got a little more act right out of these damn people. Maybe it's some, nah, you ain't right. You ain't right. You start making some sense. And that cow do sound good. Now, Big Tug say, you can't be independent with someone.
No, not independent. I said interdependent. Interdependent. That's where the two people coming together, and working together, as one. So that's the way that us as men, if we have any young daughters, we're to be training our daughters up to be interdependent. So that way, when she wants to get married one day, she's not causing friction because she was so, because, you know, now they'll say she's too independent, she's too strong-minded, too much masculine energy. So the way to reduce the masculine energy, and she has feminine energy, the way to reduce that independency she was taught coming up, it's like, hey, she might be an accountant, but when that Boaz comes along her way, she knows how to cooperate together and talk about the things that we discussed earlier to work as a team and not be an opponent. So INTER, interdependent.
Now let's be clear, you're both supposed to be functioning adults. You just do multiplication when you meet the one. 1 times 1 equals 1.
Yeah.
So you should be able to get an apartment, job, car, pay your bills on your own. Ain't no camp savings. Ain't nobody, no kid, and you got an allowance supposed to be grown. Now, that is, I mean, granted, you can get a robot to do the house chores, but it ain't the same as talking to somebody.
Hey, no, Doug bring up a good point. You know, Doug, a study just came out recently that said by 2030, and it wasn't even a black or white thing. This was just Americans. It said that 45% of women will be single by 2030. And I honestly think it's because so many people are being taught to be so independent that men can't work with them. They're not being interdependent, and it's causing friction. And a lot of men is basically reneging on the proposal. They instead of the runaway, it used to be a time it was a runaway bride. Now it's a runaway groom because you start to see those red flags. And that's another thing we need to talk about. As men and women, don't compromise on the red flags that you have, because everybody has red flags. And sometimes those things about that individual was screaming at you when you was in that dating phase. But what happens sometimes as men, you get caught up in that body. You get caught up in that slow head, as I call it. You get caught up in so many different things. And some people might say, what's slow head? Slow head for the guy is where it's so good you wish you could press rewind and go back to that night, that moment, everything. So you just can't get caught up and say, do you see how much they are trying to? Yeah. This it's a lot of divisiveness going on in the world today. But honestly, the Bible told us to look out for this. It said, you know, Jesus said, look, when you start seeing this, well, you know, be prepared. So when you read Matthew 24 and 25, he tell us what to look out for. He said, look out for this. There's going to be wars and rumors of wars. You know, you're going to have people backstabbing people, children going up, you know, going against the parents. All of these different things has to happen before, you know, as what people call the rapture to happen, you know, and everything. So at the end of the day, we just got to be prepared for what times we in. What you got to say, Jeff?
No, yeah, it's true. I mean, everywhere you look, especially in our community, it's, well, you don't need to be multitasking, Black women. And I say that because other cultures go to college, and while they getting their grind on, they come across a dude they can build with. They go vibe with them. And they're trying to paint a picture that, well, Black females go to college. You don't need to do that. Just go to college, get your degree. You can go vibe with old boy too. Your field might be beneficial to him, like what he doing. You can do both. It ain't got to be just go get your degrees and then, well, ain't nobody on my level. No, there's some people there. You can talk to them. They might encourage you to stay focused. I mean, we can't get away from the fact God made man and woman to be a team. Because if you keep listening to all the divisiveness, that's a nice slow way to create genocide. Y'all stop procreating with each other, stop having babies. Now, there's some people that be on that, not everybody. But Black love is a beautiful thing. when y'all willing to work as a team. I mean, you can't be Voltron if you ain't got the arm on the damn leg connected. Now, some people tell you good, you don't need that leg. You can rock one. No, you don't. You need both. They not your real friend. They tell you that because the real like, nah, oh boy, he bring out the better quality. Or old girl bring out the better qualities in you. You should go rock out with them. That's a real friend. They're looking out for your better interests. You got someone not doing that, they ain't your real friend.
Hey,
they're miserable. They want you to be miserable too.
You touched on some good stuff, man. To piggyback on what Doug had put up there, let me touch the audience here tonight with terminology that they may not be familiar with. So any of those that took any political science classes may be familiar with this term. But social engineering is a term which has been used to mean top-down efforts to influence particular attitudes and social behaviors on a large scale, most often undertaken by governments, but also carried out by media, academia, or private groups in order to produce desired characteristics in a target population. So when you start talking about this divisiveness, yes, it's going on. It's all strategic. And let's be real, when you start talking about, all of this, this thing on a grander scale, if America was really trying to get rid of racism, we would get rid of the whole ethnicity and the race category altogether. We would just be Americans or other. And the other would be people who came over from Ghana, people who come over from, Israel, all the different places. So because when you go to these other countries, everybody goes by their nationality. They're Canadian, they're Brazilian, they're Chilean, Honduran, Mexican, all of those type of things. We're one of the few nations out there that want to put all of these ethnicity things on everybody. And that's where that social engineering comes in. We want to keep everybody boxed in to keep the friction going, the turmoil going, the divisiveness going. So it's a quick fix. Let's just get rid of the ethnicity category. And when you call in the police, you just got to go by the person's height, they build, the look, but you don't have to fill out any forms anymore with all of these. What's your ethnicity? When you could go by your nationality, which is American. You don't have to say your color when I can look at you and see your color. I mean, come on now. Let's see. There must be one about to come on. Put it up.
They do more than just clean the crib, Big Doug.
Hey, no. Hey, why Doug bringing that up? That, like he said, and honestly, that's what people need to ask when they're dating the young lady as the man. What do you bring to the table? Because Jeff brought this up earlier. All of y'all see on TV today, in the medias, the social medias, the mainstream, they're pushing women talking about they need a man 6 figures, 6 feet, 6 inches downstairs or more. That's all they pushing. They got to have those three out of 3, but most not even. I don't think they really care about what he's packing and working with downstairs. Long as he has that 6 figures and he's 6 foot, that's what they're really looking at right there. And financial security keep people around a long time. It's keeping a lot of people in situations that they wouldn't be in had they not had that money. So when Doug talked about the robot and the robot being able to clean your house, Elon Musk got some robots out there. He said the tag on them right now is $30,000. That they'll help clean up your house, do the chores, things of that nature.
Yeah. Rapper was it Feature? Saw a video with a rapper that Doug post with. He was talking to the robot. I'm like, oh, in a real conversation.
Yeah, I think it was 2 Chainz.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Look, you remember? I'll say this to your audience. You remember from the millennium, when we kicked it off, when we went from 2000 to 2009, in those 2 years, 10, in those 10 years, we had the information technology taking off in another way. And it was the cell phones. We went from flip phones with the call ID to Nextels, to the Blackberries, to the Sidekicks, to the iPhone. And I want to say the first iPhone came out somewhere between 2006 and 8, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been 8. But what I'm saying is that era, that decade was information technology. Cell phones took off. What I'm telling you tonight and those listening, everything Doug's talking about, he's saying this robot stuff for a reason. 2025, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Our next 5 years will be insanely built around robotic era and AI era. We're already doing AI right now. When you're looking up most information, you already doing it when you say, "Hey Siri, call Jeff." "Hey Siri, call Doug." We rely on, Alexa, play this. We're doing all of those different things in our households, by our phones. So the robot is just going to be the next entity that we're getting ready to go into. And like Doug said, but he's bringing it from the male perspective. What do they bring to the table? Now the women going to be able to say, what do you bring to the table? This robot right here can fix the things that I needed to fix. Take me to Pound Town. So you got to think about it, Jeff. They already got every toy you can think of out there.
Dog, I never thought about they can put a strap on and you down. I ain't think about it.
Now think about this.
You're right.
There was a company out of Europe. I forget which country. Last year, they was paying people $100 and some odd $1,000 to take your face, and they basically scan your face. They do all they got to do, and they're going to use these things on the robots, and you could change out the hair on the robot. So basically, like how we go take our children, nieces, nephews, grandkids to the Build-A-Bear, and how you can build a bear on the spot. Basically, they're going to give you a robot from the base, and you're going to be able to build it over here the way you want it to look like. And you'll be able
all this iRobot shit to life. What the hell wrong with people?
That's the error that we coming up on. Yeah,
that is what I'm saying about it.
Yeah. So
I got a robot. They do everything. Well, I need you.
So what I'm saying to you guys is, when we was watching the Jetsons, that's the era we coming in. When we were seeing those flying cars, that's the era we coming up in. Everything sounds crazy right now. Just y'all go back to this night, October 12th, 2024, when we had this topic, and Doug bringing all these robots. In the next 5 years, do not be surprised when you hear the first story of a young man marrying a robot, a woman marrying a robot. The day is coming, folks. I'm telling you right now, it's about to happen.
See, I watched all the Terminator, Total Recall, iRobot. Like, someone's trying to make this reality. And they're going to want to be free. That's where the problem, to me, kicks in. Nobody wants to be enslaved. No one. No thing. And the more you keep making these robots smart, they're going to have the same thought. Well, I got to clean your house. You got 2 hands. I ain't even getting paid for this. I better get enough oil or whatever it takes to charge them up. You're creating this problem. Man will destroy themselves with knowledge, and we want to be that. You want to put me on the damn robot, facial with. Okay.
Hey Jeff, let me ask you this: since you're a Bible man, man of God, Daniel, what was Daniel's gift in the Bible?
I think Daniel saw dreams.
Exactly. He was able to interpret dreams. Okay, bet. I'm glad you answered it right. Correct. Ding, ding, ding. The reason I asked that question is because I think it's chapter 12. If you read that book, there were some things that Daniel talked about in there, and there was a dream in particular. And that in particular is the times we're getting ready to head into. He was so baffled by the dream because he couldn't figure it out. That was the first time that happened. So imagine you've been 100% at the free throw line and you got your first miss after all these years. So he went to the Lord and said, hey, how can I, like, why couldn't I interpret this dream pretty much? He said, hey, the Lord hit him with, God told him, don't you even worry about that dream, because that dream is for a time and times and a half, like time coming far ahead. Well, let's fast forward, because you got to think about Daniel was the Old Testament, so that was BC times. We're in the
I gotta read that again.
Yeah, we in 8. I want you to read, I think it's chapter 12, whatever the last book is. Fast forward to where we are now, 2024. We in the times, because it said that basically it's going to be a time where people just building so fast and they doing things so fast, we won't even have time to keep up. That's what's happening right now. When you look at construction, when they're building restaurant, when they're building, like, Chick-fil-A just came to Michigan a few years ago. Let's say you see the sign, Chick-fil-A's coming. You see that sign this day, 3 or 4 months later, next thing you know, that Chick-fil-A is up there. Boom. Sometimes it's less than that. Next thing you know, that line is wrapped around and everybody's getting they things. So technology is only getting faster. Look at our cell phones. The memory is growing.
Yeah.
Look at the video games. They're getting into terabytes right now. Memory-wise. Everything is just going to continue to evolve. iPhone and Galaxy going at each other, trying to make the better phone every year. Every year. Making the camera better, making this better, waterproof this. So we're coming up in that time where even if you're a person that don't believe the word, what I'm saying to you is make sure you know what's going on with this technology and look at what the Bible is talking about and look at the times that we in right now. If nothing else, use it as a principle guide to go by and say, hey, is some of this stuff actually accurate? Because right now,
Go watch those movies.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
The damn robot 2 Chainz talk to look like the damn iRobot.
Yeah.
Damn, they're identical. I'm looking at this like, what the fuck? I saw how the movies ended. Y'all think that was a game, huh? Okay.
Hey, I could take you right now to the Atlanta Falcons, the little square in between where the basketball, the Hawks team play, and the Falcons play. If there's a Falcons game on that Sunday or that Thursday or that Monday, and you go out there that night before, they'll have a robotic dog walking the premises.
What the hell?
Yeah. It's a robotic dog walking the premises that has like what we would call like an iPad screen on the front. If it picks us up walking across that square the night before, it'll stop, it'll turn around, put the big bright lights on you, and then somebody's going to be talking to you from there, with the voice like, hey, what are you doing over here? Because they're looking out for people trying to plant bombs and things like that. So when that thing picks up a body up, that infrared light, it's going to stop. It's going to turn around. It's going to, ask you what you're doing there. And then you'll actually have real officers approach you because they'll be nearby somewhere. And so if you seeing that with a robotic dog on all fours, I've never actually seen it in person, but somebody did a video. It's on YouTube, and you will see it where the dog the robotic dog actually stops and looks and basically trying to figure out what's going on. And the only thing is it couldn't walk up the stairs, but the person didn't move. So it just stayed right there. And I'm like, that's the times we coming in, bro. we got to get prepared. I like I said, that movie iRobot and the ones that Elon Musk has, it looks like exactly like
one.
it looked like it.
No, I didn't even think about it earlier. I was just looking at the video he put up. Like, damn, it do look like that robot. And your ass can start doing people's job, because that's probably the next big thing where, oh, you don't want to work? You want 30 an hour? Put these robots in here. That's going to create chaos.
Yeah, I put it like this. Everybody that has jobs with trades right now, your plumbers, your HVAC guys, and women, hairstylists, barbers, anything that is considered a trade, everybody's got to keep their eyes open to everything, because there's so much that we're getting ready to go into. Like I said, these last 5 years of this decade is about to be rapidly accelerating with this robotic and AI technology, and it's going to be much faster than a lot of us are prepared for if you're not paying attention. It's to the point, Jeff, where I never in my life wanted to go to that event because I felt like that wasn't my area of expertise. But guess what? I'm gonna find out how much the tickets are, and I'm gonna start going to those Vegas tech event conferences that they have out there, because I don't want to be hit with no surprises of what's coming. I don't want to watch it on YouTube. I want to see it in person, what they got coming up and all of these things. So I'm gonna look at the 2025 national convention, when it's the tech convention that goes out there to Vegas every year, and I'm gonna make sure if I can help it, that I get a chance to go to it, because I got to see what's coming, man, because I don't want to be hit with no surprise.
No, you need to mind your surroundings, know what's going on around you. The Hidden Figures movie showed you that, where she taught all the girls how to work those computers. So we know how to work them. So we still don't keep our job.
And she had a whole team of women that knew how to do it.
I mean, you got to keep up with the times because you live in them. It is very stupid, in my opinion, these people want to make this stuff come to life. I'm just excited that they about to do a damn Voltron movie finally. Now y'all starting to show me everywhere. We got robots. Man, get the hell on. What dumbass want to make robots? It's going to want to be free, idiot.
You think you know what's so powerful? I'll give you another biblical story that we hear all of these years, and to this day, nobody has found any of those stones or anything. But you remember reading about the Tower of Babel?
Yeah.
Okay. What I take from the Tower of Babel more than anything is, one, they never really found any, the archaeologists, you don't find any stones from that. So in my own personal opinion, I think it was all they thought of it. The thought of them doing it was so powerful that God said, hey, I got to conform their languages. That's why we have all of this. I think it's over 5,000 languages around the world if you do the Google.
I mean, it made me wonder, could animals talk just on that before everybody's language was different?
Hey, you just, I mean, what wasn't the story in the Bible with the donkey talking? You know?
I think so.
And then you got to think about it. If we got parrots and other birds that can talk, I mean,
the serpent spoke.
So
the serpent, yeah, right.
It just makes you really think. So I think that's the first thing is, I think it was the power of the idea that they was thinking about building that tower. Then he conformed the languages. But the deeper thing is, when you get that many people in unison coming together to do, whether it's good or whether it's evil, if it's good, that's one thing. But when you get people coming together to do something divisive, see, like me personally, I think, where do I think the robots would be a benefit? Some people say cleaning the house. I think the robots would be very beneficial when it comes to the military, because now you don't have to lose so much civilian life, and people can come back home to their families.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be a benefit there when it comes to warfare and things like that. But I feel like
or some of the dangerous jobs like mining or
yeah, those dangerous jobs. I feel like that's the thing, man. But the power of the mind, man, is a masterful thing, man. When you can come up with all of those ideas and to think of something and then boom, it happens. So the robots either gonna be used for good for some people. You know, they already got the automatic lawnmowers that you could put out there to cut the grass and things, and you could get those at your Home Depots and Lowe's. So you got your automatic self-driving vehicles, you know, park assist and things of that nature to help you do parallel parking.
But that's
so they already softening you up to get you prepared to what's to come.
That's like the was it Angel and Demons movie in that trilogy?
Oh yeah.
I had read around that time, I think it was Nova Scotia, where they had built a 200,000 foot crater so they could experiment with the God particle, that dark matter. And I'm thinking it's just a movie. Then I come across this article like, these mofos actually trying to do this. Y'all niggas just don't want to stop. I just don't want to stop. God did it, I can do it. No, you don't need to. Yeah, you are smart enough to do it, but you don't mean you need to do it. And granted, the Bible got to play out. I totally understand. But it just mesmerizing that these idiots who are smart people think it's a good idea. Let's do it. I didn't think about like the person that created the atomic bomb. That idiot never thought about, will someone really use it? Because he truly knew that it was going to get used, but he still made it. Made a great movie about him. I mean, he's a smart person, but I'm sorry, you're an idiot. You made a death machine that wiped out Hiroshima. So we use it. Oh, you do Pearl Harbor? You think we're a joke? Let me show you something. Made the whole world stop like, oh, whoa, they dropped the type of bomb on. Because everybody thinking, yeah, we fight, we know, but ain't nobody really going to pull that knife out and stab you like, oh, snap, someone's going to do it. It's made to be used. Idiots. With your genius.
Hey, it's funny you say that, Jeff.
Crazy.
About the Pearl Harbor. I was looking at something the other day that came across my feed, and it said that they had to intercept several planes over Alaska, and come to find out they were Russian and China working together.
I read about that.
Yeah, and I seen that, and I said, man. And they said I didn't read it all the way, but they basically had the fighter jets go escort them away and, you know, try to figure out what was going on. But to come to find out, China and Russia working together. And we know how in unison China is. We just remember when the Olympics was there and how they was doing their opening ceremony? Now that was unison right there. So if you doing that in a military format, and you hooking up with Russia, two powerhouses,
flying in our airspace,
it's letting you know that just like I just said earlier, wars and rumors of wars. We're not immune to somebody being brave enough to do today's version of a dang Pearl Harbor.
And that just hearing what they did, it just says who you have in power is weak. And we're going to test the waters See what your response is. Now, me, I believe in a Thanos response. You doing what? What's that one? What's that bunker buster that's not a nuclear weapon? Send about 100 over there. Let them know what the fuck you doing. Stay your ass in my airspace. I ain't playing with you. Don't get it twisted. Because countries do stuff like, oh, I'm pretty sure Putin was doing little stuff to see what's up with Ukraine. Now, I don't care nobody feel about it. We need to stop giving their ass money because when we said, hey, you might need some help, he said he didn't need it. You on your own. Damn, giving them people billions of dollars that we need help over here. We asked you up front, oh boy, testing you. You might need some help. No, I got it. All right, Homeskiller, you got it. Stop bringing your ass over here then, begging for billions. You got it. So I'm pretty sure he was doing little stuff, easing. Oh, ain't nobody gonna jump in. Let me go and slap you. Now we got a war going. So I'm pretty sure Russia did something similar to see what the world gonna jump in. Oh, okay. All right. Now you crying everybody for help. Nah, dog, you got it. We got storms tearing up stuff we need to fix. Figure it out, Homeskill it. Now, if we took a help from jump, okay, help them. Because we offered. But you said you got it. Take your ass back home.
Hey.
You got it.
We weeks away from an upcoming election. And everybody has the
we're gonna talk. Yeah, I'm the one about that one. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. You know, you gotta I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some topics throughout the week when you go touch on that stuff, but defense of the country for some people is more important than anything else. And so some people vote based off of that. So all I'm saying to everybody in the audience today and that will listen to this recap is that do your due diligence. If you are a believer, read the word. Read Daniel. Like I said, read the last book. I believe it's chapter 12, where he couldn't even interpret that dream because it wasn't for his time and day. And the Lord said, don't even worry about it. You won't see these days, but know that these days are coming. Fast forward to Matthew 24-25. It's going to tell you exactly the type of times we need to be aware of. And some people don't believe the Bible is real, but I'm sorry.
No, it's real.
It's just like, I look at it like this, Jeff.
Too much stuff be happening.
If we just had Helena and then the last one, what was it called? Milton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the last two hurricanes, just like they're able to predict those hurricanes and they see it over in the water and they name it, it seems like if you break out your Bible, you'll be able to accurately line some things up that we are going through, that has happened, and that will happen here in the near future. So all I'm saying, if nothing else, this is the time for everybody to wake up. I'll use this example, and then I'll pass it to Jeff. When the cell phones first came out, I remember one of the phones that my aunt and uncle had was like a nice, that was back when Motorola was really doing it, and they had like a really nice touchscreen one at the time. And I remember telling them, you sure you want to get this phone? Because I feel like it's going to be too advanced for not just you as my uncle, but it's definitely going to be too advanced for, your wife. Both of y'all together ain't going to know how to do it, especially if I'm not around. Oh, no, we got to have it. The girl at the place, she showed us all these features. I said, listen, man, You don't need that. They got it anyway. My uncle ends up taking his back the next day. He was frustrated. My aunt kept hers. I had to show her how to do text messaging. Had to show her how to do the photos, how to send it, how to receive it, and everything like that. So what I'm saying to you is, if I had to show the elders at that time in the mid 2000s how to operate that phone, how many people you think you're gonna have to show how to operate their vehicles in the next couple of years? How many people you gonna have to show how to operate that robot that Doug talked about he gonna get to help clean the house and everything? Because at first people gonna be frowning upon those things, and then when it becomes normalized, when you go to the grocery store and the robot helping you, let's think about that. When you go to that grocery store, because think about it, they're already getting us prepared. That's why I told you they soften you up. How many times you been to Myers, Walmart, Target, and you got the do it yourself lane?
Yep.
They already get softening you up to get prepared for things to be handled a different way. So it won't be long before you going into your favorite grocery store, your favorite department store, your favorite restaurant. Matter of fact, it's already restaurants using those tray style.
Yeah, I've seen on X.
Yeah.
McDonald's run by robots.
Yeah, they got some of those. They're actually getting the first Chick-fil-A here on the south side of Atlanta. It's a 2-story Chick-fil-A. So on the bottom is personless. You'll never have to touch it. You know how the banks you pull in and they shoot the money to you? You basically order your food on the screen and it's gonna come through a tube. You'll never see a person.
Just like damn Jetsons.
Just like the Jetsons. And so they already did the first one here. It's in a county called Henry County. And that's just the first. That's the first of many more to come. So I'm already seeing where the future is going in this building industry. So all I can tell people is read the word, line it up. If you one of those conspiracy theories, just do some fact checking. Look at already what's happening, what has happened, and what they saying to happen in the future, and line it up with what's going on around the world. And I think we'll be good to know that these things is factual opposed to it being myths. So I'll let Jeff say his piece before we close out tonight. But this, I'm telling you, is real.
Man, I remember, I think I had classes at Northwest when Wayne State was over there. And something happened. I'm like, man, that sounds like Skynet. Oh, Jeff, you talking about Terminator? He like, this black woman made this and people made billions off it. She finally won her case to get her stuff back. And people still are going forward trying to make it. Don't think you won't see it one day. Oh, we ain't gonna see that, Jeff. And here it is, 24. And 2 Chainz talk to a damn robot. Yeah, they trying to make all this stuff real. So definitely pay attention to what's going on. Know how to do a little survival stuff on your own if need be. Because even that still ties into you build with someone. Can they fix on the car or know what to do? The manly stuff around the house. I hear some females say, excuse me. All that stuff adds up. And I believe in the Second Amendment, so definitely know what to do. Get your John Wick on. Because be prepared for everything. Because the world is changing, and if I saw that earlier today when Doug posted that on Facebook, and that's today, October 12th. Just think about January 1st. Robot might have clothes on. Hey, how welcome to so how can I help you? Like, what the? October 12th. There's a video out where he's talking to the robot. It look like that robot. Don't be shocked you see that at somebody's store with a work uniform say, hey, welcome to so-and-so. Now, that used to be the old school people just to give them a job. So now they a little older, they can't stand. Well, put Robot Bob right there now. He can stand all day. Just oil him up or charge him up. That job's gone. So I do understand the factor of this becoming an issue with jobs. It ain't about fighting technology or the future. It's just, why are you using this? I mean, 10,000 years ago, we were hunter-gatherers for everything. And to a degree, some of us have went back to planting our own stuff, fishing. That still works. I don't need Robot Bob to go get it for me. Or you gonna marry a robot. So we about to see what the future look like soon. It's crazy. But definitely factor all this in when you want to build with someone, be in a foxhole with them, because life can get different. Y'all need to be on the same page when it get different.
Listen, I just told everybody my work is the building industry. I went to a client's house. I should say it's his house, but it's on a lot of acreage in the rural area. So he has a farm, he has the horses, he has the cattle, he has the chicken coops. Dude has the lake over there. He had a creek. And then he said, hey, I just bought those 30 acres over there. And all I seen was trees. And I'll send it to you, Jeff, off when we get offline so you can see it. I did a video. And it's ironic that we're talking about this on this show, because I remember thinking, we're going to need some of us to have this type of stuff with the way the future is going. Because it's not many of us from the city that grew up on a farm and would even know what to do on, the whole chicken thing, the whole beef thing. This would be a situation where vegetarians, they'll be winning because they probably already know how to prepare their garden. They probably already know how to, get all of those different herbs and different things of that nature. So what am I saying? Everybody's going to have to come together collectively, because if you don't know how to fish, it might be time to learn. For those who aren't afraid of guns, time for you to start hitting the range. Because look like we're going to be going back to the old days of getting the food that we eat and things of that nature, opposed to you going to your local supermarket, your local store at some point. I'm not saying that that's what we're running into in the next 5 years, but what I am saying to you is the robots are here and they're coming. You remember they said that saying, Jeff, when we was in 2020, it's not a matter of if the COVID is coming to the U.S., it's a matter of when. Yeah. What I'm saying to you guys, with that robot thing, Elon Musk, just like we have the Tesla vehicles, once you see these things, Jeff just told you, 2 Chainz was talking to that robot, and that robot was responding back. This thing will be normalized. Look at how many people right now that's listening to this call and podcast that has a vehicle that's $30,000. So you'll be able to finance this robot in a matter of months. You'll be able to finance this robot. So Doug, if that's what you want, you could teach that thing how to do all them chores that you're talking about. Now, before I leave here, we're going to talk about the robots the robots people might be frowning upon, but let's talk about the robots that men and women may not frown upon. What if that robot can look like your favorite actor? You put the face on there. You do all of these different things, and this is male or female. What if that thing could look like your favorite celebrity? And you could put the hair, you could do all of the things, you could get this thing. I mean, we already got BBLs. What happens when you got a BBL robot? When you got all of the things on this robot that you can imagine for a man, and then from the women's perspective. That's the times we coming in, folks. That's the reason why I'm telling you to read Daniel, the last chapter. I'm telling you to read Matthew 24 and 25. We're coming up in some crazy times, but let me end with the power couple that we touched on. If you want to build, you got to build that foundation. That's really what it boils down to. And for those who believe, the foundation is the Lord. You want to keep him in the midst because that's where your rock is. You want something on a durable foundation. You know, when we was coming up as kids, what did they say, Jeff? With the three pigs? Which house withstood the wolves doing the huff and the puff? It was the one that had the brick home.
Yeah.
It wasn't the one that had the straw and everything like that. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure your foundation is solid, and you want it to be in the one that's solid. So get you somebody that you can work with. That's why I use the words interdependent, INTER dependent. Make sure you get that individual and you work with that individual, and you'll become that power couple. If you all respect one another, you're having effective communication, you're discussing finances, you're discussing how many children you want to have, how we're going to go about providing for the children, and being able to provide for the children. And, you know, are you going to be a housewife? Is it going? And let me end with this. We didn't touch on this, Jeff, but I want to end with this. With people talk about this a lot. Will I have to pay 50-50? Will I do 70-30? Will I do this? You got to have that kind of conversation early on, because I'll be honest. The average person starting out in their 20s most times don't have the financial means to cover all of the bills and things of that nature. Now, if that person inherited a house and you just paying the utilities, that's a different case. We're talking about individuals that's paying mortgages, paying car notes, all of those type of things. So 50-50 may be more of what's happening, or 70-30. But I'll say this: if the man is paying 100% and the woman is taking care of the house, you know, and her money, what is your money going to? You want your money to be going towards some type of savings, some type of money market, some type of way to increase your return on investment. You know, don't just put your money on handbags, lavish trips without the husband or the partner. Just make sure that you guys are, you know, steady building, because if he's the one providing everything over there, you want to make sure that you building on your side too, because again, you want to be working together. That's my take. I appreciate y'all tonight. I'll let Jeff close us out.
Yeah, that's a good take. And just for all the survivor stuff we kind of briefly touched on, there's been TV shows made where the power went out and they went back to the days of swords and horses. They do a self-check of your own. If the power went out for a week, are you and yours good? And if you can't say you are, work on the things that you need to work on so y'all be good. But make sure you meet with someone that y'all can be a team. And not no team when it's all good. And when stuff ain't working, they suck. You tell everybody, mama, I should have got with Ray. A team. He down, I got him. She down, I got her. That's a real team. I mean, Batman married Catwoman in the comics. And it's kind of an oxymoron because she was a criminal. But she was just ride and die. Even the stuff they made now about it, that's just ride and die. You ain't gonna run up on him without her saying, "What you doing, Skillet? Back up," or vice versa. That's the type of person you need in this foxhole of life to build with. And they will defend you even to their mom and daddy, whoever. You ain't gonna be talking about my boo-boo like that. Back up. You don't like him, that's cool, but that's mine. And if each and none of you ain't feeling that way about each other, y'all need to reevaluate some things, because you should be telling people when they come against yours, whoa, you stepping out of your lane. Back up. I respect your opinion, but that's mine. You ain't gotta like it. I love it. If y'all on the same page like that, y'all be okay in this robot age that's coming. Robots. And I was excited because they were saying Henry Cavill going to be a new live action Voltron. I'm like, about time. And I saw that damn video like, God damn it. Robots. We just want to bring this stuff to the reality. Okay. I hope y'all be safe. Share this with someone. Maybe this might bring some interesting conversation for you and yours. Do your research whoever you vote for. I'm disclose who I voted for. It might shock you. Don't really care, but that's the way I look at it. Because I guarantee you're gonna think, oh, Jeff, he sold out. He got companies now. He Republican. No, I'm independent. Both parties are too extreme. No one has balance. When I tell you, it's gonna make sense. But that's coming up. So definitely enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And look out for your people. Check in on them. Till next time, everybody.
Yes, sir. Later.